The quality is always so bad on this computer.
I know. I think I honestly believe that this computer needs a new little video camera. Hey guys, we are live, so we're trying to make sure that we're getting everything set up. I feel like our internet service is not the best tonight.
And the lighting, I forgot to tell you, the light above the table, I forgot to change out, so that probably is not helping either.
It doesn't. I didn't even see that light. I can tell it looks a little different, so let's see. All right. Can anyone see us? I don't even know if we're on. Are y'all seeing us?
It says live, so I'm pretty sure we're on.
Let me change over and make sure that everything is set up like it's supposed to be.
You have some people jumping on.
Yeah. Hey, y'all. How are y'all?
There we go. We got some people jumping on. How are y'all? Everybody can.
All right. There we go. Now we got to go. Yes, now they're going. Okay. Hey, everybody.
Yes, and we've been praying. I can see you in Kentucky. We've been praying for Kentucky.
Yeah, I think our live is just a little behind. Every time I've noticed it lately, we've been staying a little bit behind. So I think that's why our chat is a little bit off. So, hey, CNC Farms. Hey, Frankie. Facts matter. Man, it is getting a lot of people on here now. Farm on Route 66. What's up? Y'all doing okay over there? What time is it over there? Farm on Route 66. Y'all are a few hours behind us. Is it too dark, y'all? We can't really tell on our screen.
I don't think it's too dark, but it's definitely not as bright as it usually is because I forgot to change the.
Hey,
I think
Rhonda,
I either have one or two lights right above the table that we're sitting at. I had some lights go out.
Did I even change those?
Not right now. But I have not had a chance today to change those.
I guess we didn't notice it because all the other lights were
Christmas,
on when we were
yeah. So Christmas is right around the corner. And one of the things that is kind of like my tradition to do before Christmas comes is we go through every room and we reorganize and we declutter and get broke toys out, trash toys out, anything that hasn't been played with or touched or doesn't fit, all of those 9 yards. So I've been very busy doing that the past few days, and it has taken me, I have to kind of almost go room by room. So it takes a while.
Her stress level is like, because she finds all the stuff that the kids have been hiding, so it goes, way up here if you can see it. Is that what happens?
Well, it's like, we don't want to put this where it's supposed to go. Let's just shove it under the bed or put it under the mattress or hide it in the back of my closet, like where all the clothes cover it up.
Like little squirrels.
So then when you start going through all the stuff, I'm just like completely overwhelmed. And it's not just like one room. It's like our school room was trashed. So I had to go through and like reorganize. And I'm the kind of person where like if you have a container of your supplies on your desk, I want the colors in one spot, the pencils in one spot, the markers in one spot. So I want everything in its spot.
Hey,
and then, you know, I've got 6 kids. So we're like school's done and they're just like throwing stuff as fast as they can and run out of the room. So we just have to like kind of take a minute and declutter and reorganize and like get broke stuff and trash and just kind of, you know, like get it back functional. So I try to do that every summer and every December before Christmas. And that, you know, I've gotten our schoolroom done and our big room done. Yes, that is exactly right. And I've gotten the girls' rooms done. And I've got to tomorrow, I've got to go do the little kids' rooms, and then I'm going to do our rooms. And the bathrooms and stuff are fairly easy. I just need to kind of like straighten up
them up.
Right. Like stuff will get shifted around and it didn't get put where it's supposed to. So I just have to kind of go back and kind of reorganize all that stuff. I just like to do that on our Christmas break and our summer break.
We're very OCD. So that organization helps us feel stress free, even though that organization doesn't
causes
really stay
a lot of stress.
Yeah, and it doesn't really stay that pretty all the time.
No, it does not.
Misty always says it's like, you know, when you wash a car and then you run through the mud puddle. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah. So it took me like half a day to do the 2 little girls' rooms, and I can promise you by next weekend,
It'd be destroyed.
It'll look like I've never been in there. But it kind of makes the clutter and the like getting the trash and stuff out a little bit easier because it doesn't just keep piling up. So it just lets me clear some of that out. So anyway.
Yeah, so the weather here in Mississippi, Rehab Life, has actually been very gloomy but hot the last 2 days, which is never good. But we have a big storm supposed to be coming.
Yeah, it has been pretty.
Yeah, it's supposed to be it was like 76 today, which was kind of unique. So it's supposed to be some bad weather coming in tomorrow or the next day. So, hey, Lena, how are you?
Speaking of weather, do you want to go ahead and open up your wild story or our story?
Is it too early for that? Gosh. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about what happened today. So, our videos usually run about 4 or 5 days behind, sometimes a week behind, depending on what we have in content.
And then we still have so much more to record.
And then we have so much before that we hadn't really started on dealing with things coming up. But today, if y'all know, we've been kind of watching all our animals, and we have a sheep and also 2 pigs that are supposed to be having babies. So we have a sheep that's fixing a lamb by year end or January, and then 2 sets of pigs that are supposed to have piglets by Christmas or a little bit after too. So this morning I walk out, I'm doing our chores, normal chore day, get milking done and get chores going, and really it was a pretty easy morning. A pretty easy morning so far, and then all of a sudden it started getting daylight. And when I went over to feed the pigs, which is one of the last chores of the day because it's on the other side of the farm where the
it's not the American guinea hogs.
Yeah, so this is the big pigs, the 2 mama big pigs, which is Oreo and Ginger. Is that the name of the other one? So Oreo and Ginger, which are the 2 girl pigs, beautiful pigs. But we've been kind of watching them closely. So I went over there today, dumped the feed like I always do, and 4 of the 5 pigs were there. And then Oreo I saw coming up. What's up, Hank? So as Oreo was coming up, she took a little nibble and then went straight back to the barn. Well, that meant she's had piglets. She's had to have piglets because she's not going to pass up food. I mean, that's one of those things that, pigs, they're pigs. They're not going to just leave food just because they are not in the mood to eat. So I said, well, while I've got Big Red, the 2 cut boars sitting here, and also Ginger, let me walk across and see if I see where Oreos had these babies. So I get in the fence, walk down the line, and right there at the back of the fence, or excuse me, at the back of the barn, I see Oreo laid over, and of course I see the little piglets kind of in my view, my peripheral. So I said, okay, there they are. I see the pigs. Can you show them? I don't know if you'll be able to see.
I don't know if the color is gonna. They are absolutely adorable.
So we had pigs. Now that's not the moral of this story here. And this is, I mean, yes, we want to show you the pigs, but
it gets crazy. Y'all just hold on.
Okay, so my wife, I'm gonna get on to her. There's mornings that get really crazy on the farm at 4 and 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes animals are out, sometimes days are bad. And I like to call my wife to say, hey, can you come give me a lending hand? Well, she says she turned her phone off because of notifications from social media.
Group.
Okay, wait.
Different group messages and stuff.
This is my story.
It goes off like all times of the night.
This is my story. So my wife had her phone silent, which is never good. So yesterday morning, I'm not even going to talk about that. We'll talk about that in a video. It was a bad morning too. But this morning I called and I said, okay, I've got to find out what Missy wants me to do with these pigs. Because we were going to try to get them in the barn before they had piglets, which is one of those things.
But why?
Well, okay, so if y'all remember, we've had piglets out in the forest, no issue. But then the last set of piglets we had issues from, well, in the last set, second set.
Before. It was during the spring, and we had all the storms rolling through, and we literally got an amount of rain that washed Peppa's 7 piglets out, and they all drowned. I found them in the mud.
It was terrible.
And it was awful. It was, all of them but one, and I brought it in, and I tried to nurse it back. I got it back. I took it out to her, and then it still died. So we lost literally all 7. So we had the barn built.
Yeah, and so Misty
but it wasn't built facing the right direction.
Well, it's built opposite of what the fence is, and so we're going to come back and put more gates on it. It was not our fault. It was just a situation with what happened.
So he's trying to decide what to do at this point.
I'm calling Misty and saying, okay, I'm thinking, and my wife, you know how you men, you think you know what your wife's thinking, or you need to know what your wife's thinking, but you don't know what your wife's thinking, but you're trying to figure out what your wife's thinking, and then you use reverse psychology to say, no, she wasn't doing that. You would do something else. Did I have that right? So then I said, I cannot get my wife on the phone. I cannot get my wife on the phone. What would she do? What would Misty do? What would she do? Would she take the piglets out, or would she leave the piglets in? Because I'm thinking in my head, what Colby would do is leave the piglets in the forest and say, survival of the fittest. Piglets, you got to live. Either you live in the forest with the other piglets, or you don't live in the forest with the other piglets. But it's your job to stay alive. That's what Colby would do. So then I say, well, Misty probably would not do what Colby would do, because sometimes we're not on the same page. So I said, what Misty would want me to do is, Colby, if you were me, you should put them in the barn. But since you're not me, you'd leave it out in the forest, and then I have something to get onto you with when the pigs die. So this is all going through my head at 5:30 in the morning with a flashlight. I'm thinking, okay, do I do what Misty would do or think she would do, or would I just let her get mad at me if I didn't do what she was supposed to do? So this is my conversation I'm having with myself. So when I could not get Misty, I called Aiden. I'm like, I couldn't make the decision. I was so bumfuzzled. I didn't know. I was lost for words what to do because I didn't know what Misty would do. So then I call Aiden, who's my son, who is usually my farm helper. But at 5:30, he kind of pulls a Misty and turns his phone on silent. So at this point, I'm standing out in the forest wondering, what do I do? Because no matter what, rehab life, it will always be my fault if something happens to these piglets.
Like the reason why the barn is backwards from the.
Well, it's not a
no telling how much we pay.
No. So even though the barn is backwards, that has nothing to do with this conversation because they're not in the barn yet. Okay, so
she probably would have went in there and delivered.
I made the executive decision
because she was right up next to it. Apparently,
yeah, but they're not really accustomed to the barn because they really didn't like last time I put them in. But I was like, hey, we're gonna get these pigs in the barn because that's what Misty would do. I think. So, did you see her roll her eyes at me?
So now I'm not even out there, but it's still my fault.
So now I'm gonna blame it on Misty when this messes up.
And this is about to get real.
Okay, so now the punchline.
And we're not talking about the American guinea hog. So y'all have to remember we're talking about a different breed. This is a completely different all the way around, and the way they act, their personalities, and everything is a totally different breed than the American guinea hogs.
So then, what happens? As I say, what Missy would do is she's got to get this mama out of here. Well, this mama will not walk without her babies. Y'all know that. I mean, wherever the piglet baby goes, the mama goes. Now, that's what we would think with the American guinea hog. So I am, like a good farmer I am, I pick up the piglets, and it's seven piglets. So we take them, and I put one over the side, two over the side, three over the side. Okay? So at number 3, the pig says,
the mama pig,
where's my babies? What are you doing? You ugly man, what are you doing with my babies? So then, by the time I get to the 4th pig, the mama is now very upset. So I put the 4th pig and I said, well, it's too late. What am I going to do now? I got to get this pig taken care of now, and I can't have babies split from their mama. So then they start going crazy, oinking like they always oink. And this mama is now missing 5 of her pigs because I got all 5 over. And at this point, she is saying, you're fixing to die, Mr. Man. So then she takes out after me and bites my leg. And I have brand new coveralls that my wife had mentioned that I needed. So I'm trying to dig out of my hole now. So these are awesome coveralls that my wife had gotten me, or had made sure I got. So this pig attacks my boot.
And it gets better.
My boot and my coveralls. So at this point, I'm a little freaked out because I'm thinking, I'm nowhere near a gate. I can jump, but I cannot. I mean, I got 2 piglets left, and I got a mama who's literally wanting to eat me alive.
The 2 piglets that he is about,
So
you have in your hands,
not
right?
yet, not yet. So then I'm thinking, okay, the pig is after me, so I'm going to take the piglets now and run to get to the gate to open the gate for me to get out, but also take the piglets because I'm thinking now this mama is hauling behind me to go and get out this gate for these piglets. My thought. Again, I'm thinking, what would Misty do? I keep just thinking about that. Just make sure we're going over this conversation.
It's my fault that he finds himself in this situation. Y'all remember that.
So then I'm in a dead sprint. And I don't care what you say. I've been chased, and I have chased animals. This pig was on a vengeance for my blood. So I start running, and this pig is like nicking, right on me. So, and this pig, she's about 325, 350, and she is on the tear to try to get to me. I mean, foaming at the mouth, getting completely upset. So I'm running, and I've got the 2 piglets in my hand. Well, she catches me again and nicks right there at my boot, and somehow either the pine forest makes me fall, or she does, but I don't fall all the way. I just kind of halfway fall. Okay. So as I fall, I've got 2 piglets in my hand, so I'm kind of hit like this, and I'm like, I got to put these piglets down, or this pig is going to eat me alive. So I lay the piglets down, and this is where it gets kind of sad too. This pig went.
I told y'all to just hold on. It gets bad.
This pig went crazy, and when I say crazy, the only thing that saved me from just literally getting ate alive is for some reason, for whatever reason, this mother had a vengeance not only for me, but for these 2 piglets. She got to where she disowned these piglets.
Just like that.
So when I laid these piglets down to catch myself and kind of pick myself up,
she got one.
I kind of pushed her nose off as much as I could because I'm not going to phase her no matter if I just whipped her. It wouldn't have mattered. She was so, at this point, I had a vengeance. So when I laid the 2 piglets down to get my balance to get up, and then I'm thinking, I've got to run and get this gate open because it's locked because I don't want the other piglets getting out. So as soon as I stand up, the only reason she didn't go towards me, she went towards a baby. And when she turned towards the baby, she literally took one of those babies.
She ripped it in half.
And just, killed it. Blew my mind. I stood there as in, I'm supposed to get ate, but I was so shocked at what just happened. I said, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I'm yelling at the pig like she understands me. I'm like, what are you doing? So then she turns back to me. And at this point, I grab the other pig, and I'm talking about we are jetting out of there. So now we're running towards the gate that I have not opened yet, thinking I've opened it, and I have not. So I'm running towards this gate. This pig is right on us. She's already killed 1 piglet. So now we run to the gate. I get to the gate, and I'm like, then I had a moment. I'm like, you dummy, you hadn't opened the gate. And this double locked, because it's pigs. So I laid the piglet down right at my feet to where she can't get to it. And I'm thinking either she's going to get to me before she got to the piglet, but I just kind of laid it down. And I said, well, maybe she's just, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what to even think at this point because I'm just running. So I get the gate open, and then she goes after that pig. So I grab that piglet. We get out of the gate, lock the gate back, and this pig, she is just wanting to get to me or the piglet. And I'm thinking now I've got 5 babies in the barn that she's not in yet.
You have to go all the way
you
down
go out the forest,
out of the pig forest, through the gate, back up around the fence to get to the barn. So which it should have been. The problem would have been solved had it just been turned around.
So the barn would have been turned. We could have opened it up. The only thing is,
which will be fixed.
Yeah, we're gonna put a gate on. The thing is, at least at this case, we were not having to mingle with the other pigs because at this point they're all down the other side except for one. So one pig runs up and kind of sees what's going on, and then she kind of scares him, so he runs back. So now we're out of the fence, and I'm contemplating myself. I've got a dead piglet. I've got 5 piglets not with their mama, and I got this pig that's wanting to eat me and this other piglet alive. So at this point, I'm thinking, do I risk the other piglets with this mama? Is this mama going to run in there and also run to these piglets and just start tearing them up too?
The piglets are 1 day old. She had literally just had them. He had just found her with the baby.
So if y'all remember, I killed a pig not too long ago for acting like a fool, attacking me. It was a boar, and that was a bad situation. I don't know if y'all remember that video. So anyways, I run out and I'm still right there. So then I drop the pig just right there in front of the gate because she can't get to the pig at this point. But I'm thinking maybe this will help kind of see what she's going to do before I put her in with the other ones. So she's trying to get to this pig instead of like trying to get to her to like console the pig, like a mama would do, like you would see a cow, sheep, or any piglet do to take care of their baby. She's trying to eat this pig alive. So now I'm running down the pig fence to open the fence gate.
Which is to the barn.
Yeah, to the barn. So then I swing that gate open. The other 5 piglets are just chilling. I mean, they don't think nothing's wrong. They're just hanging out in the hay. At this point, I call Aiden. I said, Aiden, get your mama up. I'm in an issue. And the what would Misty do thing did not work. Now we're in a bind. Tell her to get up and get down here. So at this point, I have the red barn open, the gate to the barn open where the piglets are. The piglets are not coming out because they're behind hay. They're not, I mean, yeah, they're hardly walking. So then I now run back to the little piglet that I left right at the gate to see how the mama would act. And at this point I said, well, I can't worry about this piglet because I got 5 more piglets. So I grabbed this piglet in my hand and I opened the gate. And when I opened the gate, I'm thinking I've got to let this pig follow me to the other piglets and see what happens. Because now I'm in a bind and I've got piglets everywhere and a mama that's very, very angry. So again, open the gate, and when I say she tore out, she tore out. And again, I'm by myself. I have 4 other pigs in the fence. No, 4 in this pen. The 2 mamas, the girl, the boy, and the 2 cut boars, the big pigs.
I thought you were talking about the babies.
I left that gate open because at this point I can't stop to lock the gate back because I have a mama who is literally trying to eat me alive. So I kind of open the gate, the pig runs out, I kind of close it the best way I know how to hopefully not keep the other 4 big pigs from running out. So then I'm running. I'm hauling as fast as I possibly can to get to this gate, to the fence where the little piglets are in the barn. So I literally run. So I literally run to this gate, have them open, and I jump up on the fence with the little pig, like right here. And the mama cuts right into the other side of the barn, not where the babies are, but in the barn. So I'm like, okay, I'm good now. So I kind of put the gates together, and she runs in with the babies. And at this point, I'm praying that she is not going to just tear all these babies up. She's freaking out, but she pretty much circles and does not bother the babies. So then I'm thinking, I called Misty. I finally got her on the phone and said, okay, tell me why this mama had a tear for me or the 2 other babies. All the babies were touched by me moving them. The only babies that were not touched by me when they went crazy was the 2 that she started going nuts with when I didn't get them in the when I took the other ones away. So I'm thinking, why does she not want these 2? So then again, in my what would Misty do situation, I'm thinking
this was her first time to have
piglets.
Yeah,
first time to have piglet. So now I've got 5 babies in with the mama who's doing good. She's not calm, but
I've been telling him that for a long time, Drops.
What? Oh.
Why wouldn't you wear your pee-pee?
Typically, I do, but I know if I get that angry, I just pretty much would just shoot her. I'm just being honest with you, and I'm trying not to lose this mama because she is a fine-looking specimen of a pig. And when you're
she's beautiful. And
when
her
you're trying to
babies
get
are
pigs,
absolutely beautiful.
when you're trying to get pigs, what you want a long back for pork chops. You want a fat belly for bacon. I mean, that's just the honest truth. That's the money of the pig. So this pig looks really too good to just slaughter out today. And plus, as mad as she is, I don't know what kind of capability she's in.
Okay, how is she acting in the pen with all the babies?
She's acting fine. 5 babies, she's fine. She's not calm, but she's not killing the babies. She's not even attacking them or nothing. So, again, I'm thinking, okay, I've got this baby with me now. I've got 5 babies in with her that's doing good. Maybe she just freaked out. Maybe her hormones went crazy and she happened to
just not know where her other babies are. That's what I thought triggered it.
I said, I'm going to ease this little baby back in.
The one that he's still running. I've still been running with.
I said, I'm going to ease her back in and just see what happens. And I said, I can ease her close enough, or him close enough, to where, I can reach back in and grab him. So I put the baby in the gate. The baby just squeals like normal, like pigs. And again, she beelines to this piglet to try to kill this piglet again. Not the other 5.
At this point in time, we realized she is not having.
She's not taking this piglet for some reason.
And that she will kill it.
So I got the piglet back out. Misty, I called Misty. I said, okay, Misty, we have a piglet that's either going to die, or either we've got to bottle feed a piglet, which we've never had luck out. He's going to die. I'm sorry. Or if I get in this, if I get in this pig pen with this this mama, to try to get it with the other 5 babies, this pig's going to tear me up. I said, what do you want me to do? I said, I'm serious. I got to know what to do yet. So she said, well, look, just see what you can do. Either bring it down here to me or either try to incorporate. I said, well, I'm going to try one more time. And when I laid the piglet down in there, it's the one, I have a hay bale in there just for to help bed the pigs and bed other animals. When I laid it down, it kind of went to the one side of the thing and kind of went to the middle of the pen. Oh my gosh. This pig went nuts again at this baby. And at this point, I'm on the phone with Misty. I said, this pig is fisting to die.
But she threw it around some, but Kobe was able to get it out.
So I jumped in on the hay bale. At this point, the pig now turns to me and says, okay, here's this guy again. I'm just to tear him up. So now the pig is now jumping on the hay bale trying to get to me as I'm trying to reach down to the piglet and get the pig back out of there. So then the hay bale starts to flip over and I'm on the hay bale in the fence with this pig. So I catch myself. I know this is crazy. I'm sorry. It's too much. Catch myself, grab the piglet, and I'm yelling at the phone. I'm like, Misty, we got to get this piglet out of here. So I climb back out finally to where now we have a piglet. I get the piglet out, bring it to Misty. At this point, we have realized for some reason she does not want 2 of the 7 pigs.
Well, she killed one.
She killed one. I'm talking about, I've never seen anything like this in my life. I've been around a lot of things in my life, and I've never seen a pig. Even the one I shot, even the pig I had to kill, and I had to dispatch not too long ago, was not this aggressive. I've never seen a pig like this. So, long story short.
Now Mr. Jingles is in the house with us.
So now we have Mr. Jingles. He's hanging out with us.
He's getting Allie's baby colostrum,
and he's doing great.
He's doing great. I put him in a little bed. He's got a bed in my room with a.
We look alike. Look.
He's got a little bed in my room with a heater, and I've got a little dish that I've been heating up Allie's colostrum. He's really tired because he's been running around the house. We come home from church, and I fed him. Harley, go put him back in his bed, baby.
So at this point, I'm still worried about the 5 other pigs. I'm not done with normal chores. I got to take care of the horses and lambs and chickens. So I called Misty. I said, I'm going to bring this baby to you. So she starts doing the bedding and all that. And we're saying the same thing. This baby may not make it because the mama had already kind of not abused it, but just.
She'd already thrown him around.
Yeah, she'd already got to the point.
He's got a cut on his side. Yeah. It's healed up okay. It stopped the bleeding after a little while, and
so then I told Misty, I'm going to bring Mr. Jingles to you. At this point, the pig's not named, but I said I'm going to bring Mr. Jingles to you, and then I'm going to go do the normal chores. Then I will come back. I'm going to see if Mama calms down. And I said, if she's killed all these pigs, we're leaving her right there. And at that point, I'm deciding she's getting dispatched if she kills the pigs because she is no good to me. So I told Misty, I said I'm gonna run back up there. So I ran back up there. The mom was laying fine. No issues whatsoever. Calm down. Well, not laying down. Excuse me. She was just standing there, but not running around. Acting like a normal pig. So I told Misty, I said, okay, I've got to go to work. I've done all the chores. Just come back. Actually, we had an Azure Standard delivery today at our back door. We'll talk about that a little later. It's awesome to have Azure Standard literally right there at our back door. So I told Misty, I said, when she goes to do the pickup, run back there, double check, make sure the pig is okay, make sure she has not killed any of the other babies, make sure it's okay. So when Misty got back there, she said, yeah, the pig's laid down, got hay around her. She's being a mama.
Finally, at about 8:30, when I drove back through, she had taken her nose and pushed some hay up around them and was still walking around. And I just sat there for a minute, and then she laid down with her stomach to them. So I knew she was going to let them nurse. Or it looked like she was trying to lay down and let them nurse. But
We've not seen. Have you seen our nurse? I've not seen her nurse other than just getting in the position.
She went in and she kind of nudged the hay around them. I saw them all pop their little heads up, and then before I drove off, she had laid down on her side
Rebecca,
towards them. So I have not seen them nurse, but she was right laying in the position, and they were all right there. So.
And we're gonna go check. We've been checking on them momentarily all day.
I feel okay. Yeah, he went and checked on them again after work.
And we're doing fine.
But I have Mr. Jingles inside, and I have been warming up Allie's colostrum for him, and I have a little dish. And at first, I thought this is getting really messy, so I took the little dish and I'll fill it up with milk, and I let him drink over it. I let him drink that with a bowl under it so it catches what he drops out, and then I just refill it back up until he drinks it all. And he's had several good feeding sessions. It took me a little while working with him for him to realize he's not going to be able to like root and like nurse, but he finally got the hang of it. And I think he's going to do really good. Yeah, he's going to stay in our room tonight in a bed. And unfortunately, I mean, I really, really don't want to have to baby him, but
we didn't do any family because at this point we're going. I mean, it's crazy. And I told Alderman Farms, who just got on, Tommy. I told him today about this, or Misty did, and it was unbelievable because, we've had issues with pigs. I mean, pigs are pigs. And we've had issues with other, like we have a ram who, he likes to nudge you and things like that. But this first time I've ever seen just the vengeance of this animal. But it was amazing because to the other pigs, she was just fine. And actually, when I went back over there, she never kind of came to me or anything. I mean, it was just like normal.
And we had discussed later this afternoon, because we had been playing with the idea of maybe trying to put this pig back in now that she's completely settled down, and maybe just take it and slip it back in with the other ones now that she's completely settled down. But knowing the risk, she's doing fine with the ones that she has, and knowing the risk that we will upset her again and that she will go nuts in there with the babies that are in there and possibly step on them and hurt them, because sometimes they just do that. They just lose it and they just run everywhere, and it doesn't matter if they trample on their babies. I've seen them do that with just food. So knowing that, hey, mama is doing fine, the babies are doing fine, we don't want to cause any more issues. So keeping the pig and babying it, and even if we lose one, it's better than getting her upset and stressed out and causing issues with the 5 that are in there. So,
and that's the real.
I'll have a pig running around in the house.
Yeah, and we talked about reintroduction. I mean, that was really a big concern. Yeah, we were thinking, we had. Do we reintroduce that, or?
But I don't think the risk is worth the fight. I don't think the risk is going to be worth.
And so we were then talking about, well, then when Ginger has her babies, do we try to reintroduce that one to that? So we were contemplating all this. And then what we decided, hey, let's just bring it inside. It's either going to make it on Allie's colostrum milk.
It's getting the best milk possible.
It's not going to make it and get weak and die. Or it's going to die with his mama. I mean, either way, it's not really a good situation for the pig. So Mr. Jingles has now made his way in our home to hopefully be nursed back to health. Now, he's acting great. I mean, he's being fine right now.
Yeah, he actually, I was telling you a while ago, as I come home from church, I gave him another session of feeding and kind of cleaned him up because he is so sloppy eating. And then put him down on the ground, and I have all concrete, so I don't really have rugs everywhere. And he just run around everywhere in here, and the kids are chasing him, and Libby likes to chase him. And so I was like, yeah, y'all wear him out before I go to bed. So he'll sleep for a little while. It won't be whining in our bed, but he's really done good. Considering his post-traumatic stress from his mama trying to kill him, he's done really well. So.
And rehab life, that's a great point. We were going to separate these two mamas too, but just being honest with us, with our winter situation, and we did butchers. I mean, we had a big butcher in this last weekend. We've had crazy rains. And with the fact that the time change, it was just hard to get out there. And with our pigs, if we try to move, if I just try to move them by myself and separate the girls from the boys, Big Red, which is our big boar, he's always the leader. So it's kind of hard to do it by myself. So we've been talking, okay, They're supposed to have babies this weekend. That was when they were supposed to have babies.
We were thinking around Christmas week or so.
I said, what we'll do is we'll go over there and try to isolate them and get them out. Well, that was going to happen Friday and Saturday of this week.
Yep.
So when she dropped the babies, which Ginger has not yet.
Earlier than we expected.
Yeah. So at this point, the decision was then, do we chance them in the forest with the male? And of course, if I could go back, I probably would have just pulled the male out and been done with it. And he didn't show any animosity to the babies or nothing. But you've always heard, now an American guinea hog, and we discussed this with Alderman Farms, we've always left our boars with our American guinea hogs because they've never given problems to the piglets. Even when they'd get out and kind of maneuver around, because we tried to split them one time, they didn't never show any issues to them. But I've always heard with, the commercial hogs are a little bit more wild. You may want to go and separate. So I said, we'll just separate the boar. And it just, this morning was crazy. And that just didn't happen as quick as we'd like.
Well, the whole problem with everything is the mamas being in the forest, and we built them a shelter, but they don't have access to the shelter, which makes absolutely no sense.
Well, they do, but it's from the opposite side, which is not what we need.
Right. So the problem, that's where the problem was, and we were thinking, well, now we have this mama out here, which has always been our problem. We have the pigs running around in the forest with the babies, but they don't have any shelter from the weather. Which, don't get us wrong, we already said, yes, it's Mississippi, but it's not even cold outside. But if it was to flood and then freeze and they're tiny, we just wanted them to have somewhere to go that was hay, that was dry, because they're tiny. And it is supposed to rain and the temperatures are supposed to drop. So if you would have asked me this morning, I would have said they probably need to be in the barn if it's going to rain and the temperatures are going to drop. So,
and that really is what it came down to.
That's what it come down to, is we just wanted to give them shelter from the weather. And then had we known everything that was going to transpire from that, we would have just left them in the pig forest.
And we're not opposed to leaving the pig forest. That's what we've always practiced. But at this point, we were trying to be proactive because these are going to be the start of our kind of the big hams, the big bacons, the big pork operation that we're trying.
They're
beautiful. Gorgeous, y'all. I mean,
so it was
gorgeous.
Our intervention caused problems when all we were really trying to do was to prevent problems by putting them in the barn to where they could be covered in the rain and when the temperature drops, and it gets muddy fast when it rains. And we just thought, well, if we could go ahead and build a barn, and then when the mamas have the babies, they can go in for shelter when they need it. And so we were just trying to be proactive there. But in essence, by having to pick them up and move them around after she has her babies, and that ended up causing problems.
It's not, even though the barn is backwards, the pigs follow us great. We never have a problem with the pigs coming in and out.
And the American guinea hogs never, ever did that. We could pick the babies up and they would grunt and follow us around and stuff.
Issues. Well, we have videos of that.
Yeah, and they would never. I had never seen one attack their baby ever. Even after we messed with them, picked them up, did whatever with them, I never seen American guinea hog hurt.
We just put ourselves in a precarious situation when we had all of a sudden she dropped the babies a little too soon, or not too soon, but just sooner than we thought. So then that's when the decision had to be made. So hindsight, I wish I'd have got the boar out of there. I just let them alone and just hope for the best. But it is what it is. I mean, she's being a good mama right now. She's beautiful. The piglets are growing.
We ain't messing with no babies from now on until they're bigger, and we know we are not messing with babies.
If Ginger has these babies in the forest, I'm just gonna literally take a poly fence, one of our nets, and just put around her and say, have at it, sister. And that way we don't cause the issue.
Yeah, but I keep going back to my thinking they don't have any shelter. That's the only thing that kind of hurts my mama heart is, I want those tiny little babies. Of course, you've seen how tiny that baby was, probably a pound or two. And when it's freezing or icing or, whatever, I want the babies to be able to be covered. So that's kind of, like I said, that was kind of our whole intentions and goal of building the barn, getting the mamas in there, let them deliver in there. And when they weren't in and they delivered and it's supposed to be raining and getting cold and all this stuff, We just wanted to make sure that the babies had shelter.
These 6 pigs,
we end
though,
up messing them
are
up.
absolutely long. They're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
They have a gorgeous build, and that's going to help us, again, to grow our pig operation. And she's too pretty of a mama. Like I said, I wanted to give her every chance to just calm down. If she had, of course, hurt her other pigs, then she would have had to be dispatched, no doubt. But she didn't. So we're okay right now. We're going to check on her, of course, every morning, every night, every evening. Missy's been checking on them during the day. So it was definitely a crazy morning.
I don't think that she will be problematic if we don't mess with her babies.
I think she was just hormonal. I mean, I really do. I think
she had just delivered. I mean, I saw some questions come across about had they nursed yet? How long, had it been?
They were
we
up
don't know
and their eyes
all
were
of
open,
that.
so we do know it's not like
she didn't just have them.
It's probably through the night or last night.
Right. So they were probably a few hours old, but we don't know, we don't know for sure. It's one of those things where you go out and you're like, oh, we have babies. So, it could have been late yesterday afternoon. It could have been sometime through the night. We don't know. The umbilical cord is still on Mr. Jingles, but it's drying up. So I'm not going to mess with it. I know it'll just eventually fall off. So I'm not going to mess with it. He's not stepping on it. It's not bothering or anything like that. And yes, this was her first litter too, so that does make a difference. But I will say that Pippa has been more aggressive towards her last batches than even her first. She's the American guinea hog, and she seemed to kind of be
we opposite. Do that, Rena. We do. That's exactly what we do. That's what we do with the sheep and also the pigs is drop a bale of hay in there and they'll burrow under it. That's exactly right. And that's what they're even doing in the barn and outside the barn. Anytime we have spent hay, what we call spent hay that goes to the cows, sheep, things that don't eat it, we'll then turn around and give it to the pigs, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to burrow under and they'll eat some of it and kind of hang out in it. So
yeah, that would have been a good idea though if we.
We did that. It's got piles of it over there.
I'm talking about in the pig forest.
It is
in the pig forest.
Yeah. I just dumped all that was actually from the pig pen, in front.
I think you're right, Frankie. And Colby, even when I was on the phone with him, he said,
I agree, Frank. I agree with that.
That little piglet, I hated to see go, but it was probably a sacrifice. God used that as a sacrifice so that I didn't get harmed. Because
she tore me up because I was on the ground at this point. And the only way that she didn't just get all over me, because she was still nipping at my feet, but she beelined to that baby, and that was, I guess, the weaker target. And that quick. And that's the only thing that gave me time to get up and grab the other baby and start running to get a little bit of a head start. So crazy. I agree, Drops. And it's one of those things that
I agree with that, Drops. I was an emotional nutcase when I had Aiden.
I told Misty.
I have to totally agree with that.
Is and this may sound terrible. Our approach with our animals when we first started and has always been is less human interaction. If they make it, great. If they're bad animals, we call them. And ultimately, we want the strongest to make it because that's what we need on our farm. Henceforth, that's why we sold cows. That's why we butchered cows. Our sheep, same way. We had a sheep that jumped out. That's why he was processed. That's why we did this with the hogs. We were a little gun shy because of what happened to Peppa's second set of babies. Therefore, we feel like human intervention sometimes is good, and that probably wasn't good. And I think instead of taking emotions,
that's what I was going to say. But I felt horrible, and I felt partly responsible for her babies drowning because I'm like, they depend on us to give them shelter.
They depend
on them for us to give them something.
Yeah.
And here we are, they were in the pig forest, they were in their little nets, and it absolutely flooded. I mean, it flooded so much that it washed all of her babies but a few completely through the nets, and they drowned in the mud. And we have to live with that. I mean, yes, that's our piglets, and yes, they do end up going to our freezer eventually, but we feel responsible for them, and I felt responsible for those babies drowning because they were not in a barn or they were not somewhere where they weren't going to drown. So I kind of felt it was not our fault. Again, we didn't know that she was going to have them on the morning of the flood. It's just what happened.
And see, it's supposed to storm here tomorrow too. So that was in the back of our minds.
For those babies drowning. So that's why we had the barn built, even though it's not in the right direction. That's why we had the barn built, is so when these mamas get close, we can put them in there and let them deliver in there where they're covered. They can stay dry, they can stay warm when it's cold, and that was kind of the whole goal. We just didn't know that the mama was going to literally turn and freak out like she did and then kill her baby, try to go after the other two babies. Crazy. So,
but I think it's one of those things where we always say we live and learn, but it's just a day. I mean, and so we have to say, okay, what can we learn from this? We see that sometimes human interaction works, sometimes it doesn't. We've seen in other cases when we didn't intervene, we should have. So I think that we try to build wisdom to say, okay, this animal does better when we do this.
Thank you, Tim.
This animal doesn't do good when we do this. So it is a learning experience for us always. Everything we do, we try to gain wisdom from it because ultimately we've learned that, okay, American guinea hogs, heritage breed, we can outrun them. But at the same time, we can kind of mess with their babies, and it's not a big issue. Commercial hogs, don't touch the babies.
We ain't touching the we ain't touching the babies.
We ain't doing that anymore. That's crazy, you know. So I think it's one of those things that we just learn, and it's just as we go, we see what's best, and I go from there. I mean, like for instance, with Allie, she's doing phenomenal. She's back to her old self. So the less is more approach, not doing prescriptions, and all of a sudden just treating naturally. She's back blowing and going with no issues. She milked about 2.5 gallons this morning, or 2 gallons this morning. Sorry, doing great. So I think it's one of those things that sometimes we learn something, and sometimes we learn from a mistake. And I guess this was just one of those days. So.
Yeah. So not the way we wanted to end the morning this morning, and definitely not. I don't really need anything else on my plate as far as to take care of. But I will be taking care of Mr. Jingles in the house, and that's probably for at least probably a few more weeks until I feel comfortable enough to take him out into the barn and he can I can go give him food maybe like in the morning and midday and then maybe at night, and then he'll be okay. But for right now, he's so small. I saw somebody comment, you need to feed him at least every 4 hours, and that's what I've been doing. At least every few hours I've been going in with some more milk and feeding him, and
Aiden was
I'm like, I don't have time for that. And I even asked Colby today, I was like, can we just sell it?
And
but then I look at him and he's so beautiful, and I'm like, he's gonna grow up to be a fine pig.
He is.
So I hate to sell him for a few dollars, knowing that he's gonna be such an unbelievably beautiful.
Awesome, Samantha, good job. So and what's so crazy is Aiden. I laughed tonight. Aiden was like, "Why do we get a pig inside?" I was like, "Well, we're having to keep it inside. You know that." And he's like, "But I've been wanting a dog inside." He's been fighting for a big dog inside, and so Missy's like, "We're not having any inside animals, none."
And so tonight he was doing this.
Inside animals.
Well, you've got a pig inside.
He's like, "But we got a pig inside now."
That was not my choice. I don't want this pig in the house, but I have to take care of it. And I can't put him outside and just not keep my eyes on him. So he's got a bed in my room.
Yeah. So now we have a pig. And what's so funny is Livy has loved this little piglet.
She runs around squealing. I think she squeals as much as the pig does.
She's just been laughing the whole time, running, chasing this little pig all around the house.
It's cute. We've got to get it on video for y'all. It's so cute.
We have filmed like nothing today, so I'm so sorry. You won't see any of this. That's why we're telling you about it, because pretty much we blew it today as bloggers. So.
It has been, between just the busyness of just, like, I think this is the first time either one of us has sat down today, which not complaining, just telling y'all like it's real life. So yeah, we have not pulled the camera out. I actually was going to make y'all's turnip green soup today, and
you didn't make that.
Sorry,
I'm just joking.
It's just I have 6 kids and a pig running around the house, and I'm trying to clean, which is a huge job with 6 kids.
Oh, it says we have free love puppies. Cup of Kentucky give a pup. No, we do not need any puppies. We're good.
And labs are beautiful, but man, they like to chew up everything.
The pig is healthy drops. All of them are doing good right now. We're prayerfully saying that Mr. Jingles will do good, and all his brothers and sisters that he don't know.
Well, if I can give him a few weeks and get him up eating and doing very well, then I will eventually move him out there with the other ones when I probably in about 8 weeks or so.
I think I'm getting old though. Misty has been making fun of me. I've been falling a lot with animals chasing me or me chasing animals. So she's like, "Yeah, I think you're just getting old." So I keep falling. Like I chased. What were we chasing the other day? Oh yeah.
Yeah. So for the past 2 mornings in a row, I got a call this morning.
Wait. But did you have your phone on today or yesterday?
And then I got a call yesterday morning too. I can't get Allie in the stanchion.
Allie went berserk yesterday. Hey, she's back to her old stubborn self. But yesterday,
I think it was the calves.
Yeah, so
he put the calves back with them, and the calves have been nursing off of Allie.
Which is good for the case of Christmas. We always, we just want to make sure we have time, make sure the calves are taken care of. So yesterday morning,
she didn't want to go in the stanchion.
We were not even going to talk about this today, but Allie's doing great, by the way. But yesterday morning, I noticed that she didn't follow me behind with alfalfa. She loves her alfalfa. And she's like jumping around like she always does, like to get in the stanchion. And then like she went on the stanchion.
Rehab Life, the Aldermans were on here too, and that just happened to him a few months ago. Sure. A pig got his leg.
Yeah, well,
they're very dangerous. Yeah. That's why when we said we've got a story to tell y'all, like for real, because they are very dangerous, and it could have been very bad for Colby this morning. And she killed her baby, but she could have hurt Colby really bad.
Miss Dutch, I agree.
And we're very thankful that he's okay.
I absolutely love pigs. I really do. I think you all deserve pigs. I think everybody needs to raise pigs.
But not having one in the house.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd raise one.
Well, I'm having to raise one in the house.
I'm sorry, man. Sorry. But what would Misty do? That's what I did. Remember? It is not my fault. It's Misty's fault.
It's my fault that he messed with the pigs.
But did you hear? She killed her baby. Did you hear that she said, "I was just emotionally attached and I wanted them in the barn"? So y'all heard it. Go back and watch the recording. She said it, not me.
I did not say I was emotionally attached to these pigs. I said it is part of our responsibility to make sure that they're provided shelter, and they don't have shelter. Still, like $5,000 later, and they don't have shelter.
So, anyways, Allie was crazy yesterday. So I'm calling Misty. I'm saying, look, I'm not milking this cow. I've got to get out of here. This calf is wanting it, and I think she thinks. Miss
Belinda.
I think she is not having it. And so then, but guess what? When I was saying all that to the phone, she wasn't on the other end because her phone was on silent. So guess what I had to do? I had to call Aiden again and say, Aiden, get downstairs and get your mama because I can't get Allie in the stanchion.
So I messaged him, and that's not the first time he's failed. So he failed this morning, he failed yesterday morning, and he's failed a few other times. So I messaged him yesterday after he failed. He was like, "Man, my back is sore, my neck is sore," and I was like, "You gonna keep doing this, and in a few more years, you're gonna fall, and your hip is gonna be broke. I just give it a few more years, and you're gonna be having hip surgery."
She was making fun of me. Rehab Life said, remember what I said, when you're in a hole, stop digging.
I know, you need to take some wise. Thought you liked wisdom.
Hey! It's fun times. So anyways, other than that story, today's been good, and the animals are doing great. Allie's back to her normal self, doing phenomenally well, and again, milking like she's supposed to. So the natural remedies did work for her. And I got a good workout this morning. After working out, I got chased by pigs, so I got a good 5K in this morning too, I think. So
6 kids and a pig. That's pretty funny. Well, I'm hoping this little piggy's not going to be in here much longer, and I'm going to move him out to the barn right behind the house, and then we'll give him a few weeks out there, and then I'm going to take him to the pig forest once I know he's ready to go in there. So.
The one good thing is, as these piglets get older, we'll train them like we always do to nets and things like that, and then we'll incorporate him back with his normal siblings because we'll separate them from their mama as they get a little older anyway. So I think we'll be good. We're gonna watch them. Hopefully they'll do good with their mama, and hopefully this one Mr. Jingle will be awesome and doing good too. Missy was talking about, I guess he's gonna be our next breeder because since we're babying him, I hate to be him be the one that we like process out. So. He may be our next boar. I don't know. But I got to say, they look good. And we're proud. We're glad to start this journey. It started very rocky this morning. But I'm glad to see these pigs are doing really good.
Oh, I am not looking forward to feeding a pig every few hours, though. That's going to be a lot of labor intensive work that I don't need right now, but it is what it is.
Celtic Root said, "Sally, my brain tells me I'm 17, and my body reminds me I'm 51." That's funny. Yeah, and it's it's never a dull day. I say that all the time on farm, but it's truly never a dull day.
I don't think things could get as crazy.
We have. I mean, we're fixed to get off here, but we'll have videos coming up, and you'll see that we've been butchering. We had a chicken butchering this weekend. The crazy thing about it is we had it planned for Saturday of this last week. It flooded, so we had to cancel it, or it was supposed to flood, so we canceled it.
That's when all the bad weather come through, which we thought we were going to get some of that, but thankfully it just
we got a lot of wind.
We got some wind, and then we got a decent amount of rain.
And so we canceled it till Sunday. So we were going to go to church and then come back and butcher. Well, all the people that was doing the workshop, we always do a workshop when we butcher, it just couldn't come. It didn't either. They were, not feeling good or just couldn't come. They had prior engagements. So then we have 50 chickens, and it's
almost. Was
it 50? It was 50. We have 50 chicks or 50 chickens, broilers to butcher.
We worked,
and it was Aiden, Colby, Misty, and Harley, and that was it. And then we had a family come a little bit later that wanted to watch too, and they were awesome help too. I'm not saying that.
His dad come and helped us for like an hour and a half or so.
But he
really helped gut. He really helped gut. Aiden killed. Colby taught Aiden how to kill, so he killed almost every bird, didn't he?
Yeah.
He killed almost every bird and did a great job. Great job.
And Harley did phenomenal too. Both kids really stepped up.
She helped do a lot. I was kind of over the cleaning them, scalding them, plucking them, and then quality control at the end, just making sure that everything is out. All the feathers are off. Everything is washed up good.
Successful day
before they went in the cooler, and then Colby did a lot of gutting. So we worked our patooties off that day.
So it's been eventful. So that's why we go back to say that's why the pig forest was a crazy situation this morning, because it's just been nuts around here, and that just happened to be the ball we were tossed this morning. And again, we always say, "What would Misty do?" And so we just did it.
Well, I'm gonna make a shirt for him to wear that says "What would Misty do?" And I'm gonna make him wear it all the time. I will wear it
all the time, all the time. Thank y'all guys so much for being on tonight. I hope you enjoyed our story. It went from laughing to sad, but now it's back up. So we're doing great here, and glad everybody's okay. We hate that we lost a piglet, but Mr. Jingles is jingling around here somewhere, and all the other piglets are doing good with their mama. We'll check. We'll be showing those in vlogs. We will not have the vlog on this day because it was nuts and we didn't film. But you will see the continuation of this over the next few days. So tomorrow and the next day, you'll see videos on the butchering and us setting up for it. Again, prayers for Kentucky, Missouri, Arkansas, the damage that they received, and anywhere else that got it. Guys, I know there was a lot of damage and
a lot of death.
Y'all just keep praying for them for sure. And that's what we were thinking we were getting Saturday, which we got rains, but nothing like what they got. So just be praying for them. But you'll see a lot of videos coming up on that. And then as we get to next week, you will see the pig. And we have some great videos coming up next week. I'm really excited to show you. Misty will have the turnip green video. We also have a little fun little video that we're going to be doing that hopefully you will like putting out. So it's going to be we've got a lot of vlogs coming over the next few days, and we hope that you'll stick with us, give us some thumbs up. Hey, help us spread the news. We're almost at 1 million views, which is awesome. So we're going to try to get that this next week, and we were hoping to get to 11,000 by year end. I don't know if we're going to make it, but thank y'all so much.
10 was a big goal, so that's good.
Thank y'all so much for sticking with us, and we hope y'all enjoy our channel. God bless.
Happy homesteading, y'all.
Happy homesteading, y'all.